Hi YouTube, this is Joe Calton with Calton Cutlery. Visit me on the web, caltoncutlery.com. Okay, so this video is going to be the third and final video in the series on round tube micarta or small batch round micarta or the wedding dress knife, whatever I'm going to title this series. This is the last one. And the reason for that is I got the knife done. If you've been following along since the beginning of the series, a good friend of mine, her name's Becky, she's getting married tomorrow. In fact, I almost forgot to shoot this video before I gave the knife away and didn't have the knife available to be able to show it to y'all. So anyway, she gets married tomorrow, and so we got to go down and watch her get hitched and, you know, celebrate with her and, you know, all that kind of stuff. And I will be able to give her her wedding knife made, and a portion of the wedding knife is made out of her wedding dress. So I got the idea. Becky's a very crafty type person, and she decided to make her own wedding dress. So I think she got some material from, you know, probably a fabric store, and her sister's wedding dress, and took some fabric from that. And she either stitched her whole wedding dress, or maybe she just bought one and modified it. I'm not quite sure. But when I saw that she was doing that, I asked her if she had any of the extra of the material. Of course, I didn't tell her what it was for. Of course, she probably guessed, you know. And asked her if she had some extra material and if she could stop it off with the wedding invite. She did, and so I made this out of it. Well, okay, so the blade is, you know, kind of my standard 1095 high carbon steel. It's got a differential heat treat, multiple quench. You know, 1095 is an awesome steel if you treat it right. This one, these wedding knives, I used to grind them thin, like extremely thin, like a traditional nakiri. But then I started thickening up the grind a little bit, because a lot of times these wedding knives, I mean the same profile and everything, but the ones that I give away as gifts, you know, to friends and family that are getting married, I typically leave them a little bit thicker, because if somebody's going to throw down, you know, their money on a custom knife and they're going to order it, then they know what they want. And so, you know, you can grind those pretty much as thin as you want, as long as your customer knows that that's what they're getting, and with a little bit of luck, they'll treat it accordingly. Knives given as gifts, a lot of times, you know, they need to be a little bit thicker, because maybe those folks that get those knives aren't quite as well educated on the limits of, you know, steel and how far you can push them. So anyway, these are ground a little bit thicker. I mean, definitely not thick. I think this one was 10 or 12 thousandths at the shoulder of the edge. So it's still, you know, a nicely thin ground knife. It's just not extreme. The bolster here is red and black linen micarta, and the actual body of the handle is Indian rosewood, if I remember right. But the middle portion right here, that is made out of her wedding dress material. And it came out pretty dang good, I think. You know, I mean, I've made micarta, as in spelled M-Y-C-A-R-T-A, not M-I-C-A-R-T-A. You know, the distinction is micarta with the Y is the stuff that you make, you know, in your own shop, you know, with normal shop tools. The mycarta, the trademark name mycarta, that stuff is made with basically the same process, but, you know, much higher pressures and heat, and, you know, they've got it worked down to a science. Anyway, so I've made micarta plenty of times before, but I've never made it with this type of material. And this type of material is kind of nylon-y, polyester-y, you know, it's not straight up cotton or denim or wool or something like that. So it does absorb the resin, but not quite at the same rate as cotton does. But anyway, you can tell it turned out really nice. Now, to finish this, you know, typically on most handle materials, you can hand sand it down to like a 600 grit, and then hit it on a buffer with, you know, some Brownell's 555 gray, and then hit it with some scratchless pink. And buff most handle materials out, you know, just like that, and it works perfect. With this stuff right here, it didn't really start looking good until about 1,000, maybe 1,500 grit hand sanding. And then if you touched it with a buffer, it almost like it started melting and kind of getting runny and looking, you know, not so cool. So pretty much what I had to do is sand this up to like 2,000 grit, and then hand buff it with just a rag or maybe a piece of blue jean material or something like that. You know, so you're buffing, but you're not creating very much heat at all. And that's how it ended up turning out. Now this stuff right here, it's you know, it's basically as tough as the automotive body resin that you use to make it. So it's not really affected by mud, blood, you know, oils, any of that kind of stuff. It's pretty good material. But I just figured I'd share that with y'all. I mean, who else has got a knife that's got a part of their wedding dress built into the handle? Talk about memories, huh? Now, like I said, since Becky's pretty crafty, now one thing, when you guys are boxing knives, always make sure that you put something, you know, I like using these wine corks, you know, to protect the edge. If your knife has got a point, put the wine cork on the point, because, you know, if you've got a really sharp knife, that knife can cut its way out of the box, you know, if you don't provide, you know, some sort of protection to the box from the edge. But anyway, since Becky's a pretty crafty person, you know, all the material that she gave me was either in that spacer, or it's, you know, as a bed here inside the box for her knife. And I put the last two little bits of it, you know, that I cast together in there, and who knows, she'll probably make a keychain or something or other out of it. But anyway, it'll kind of help to complete the story, I think, if you know, she keeps all of it together, or, you know, whatever. It's her knife, she can do with it what she wants now. So anyway, so you know, that's for everybody else. For you, Becky, because I know you watch these videos, you know, I'm pretty excited to see your wedding tomorrow. I think you and Neil are gonna make a pretty awesome couple. I think you already are. You seem to be pretty good for each other, and you know, I wish you a good, long, happy, healthy, and prosperous marriage. And I'll see you tomorrow. So again, this is Joe Calton with Calton Cutlery. You can visit me on the web, caltoncutlery.com. Hope you all enjoyed the video, and we will see you next time.